Sometimes you're going to have questions and we can't meet together to discuss them. And so you're going to have to be asking these questions sometimes over email, which can be very difficult, especially if the question gets more technical. So how are we going to be able to efficiently ask and answer questions in a timely manner so that we don't have to wait until we can meet in person? So what we're going to do is, if you have a question, first I want you to try to figure it out on your own. Spend a little bit of time doing that. That's a good thing. It's not just this first time you come up to a problem, throw your hands in the air and say, help me, I don't know what to do. I want you to try. If you've tried for a little while, you're not getting anywhere, then by all means, ask the question. If you send me an email, what can happen is you'll try to explain it and you'll say, I have this thing, it's trying to do this, this is what I see is happening, and it gets kind of this convoluted thing and I don't know what's happening. So instead, when you write this email, tell me that you have a question, articulate the problem as best you can, but then you're going to do what we did when we submitted assignment. You're going to get this folder, and let's say that you have a question on the homework. You're going to take this folder and you're going to copy the URL. Now remember, you've already shared the folder 100 with me, so I have access to this. What I can do once you send me this is I can read through and look at what your question is, and then I can look at what you've done so far. I can look at the code that you've written, or I can look at the document that you've written. I can look at pictures if you've been writing something out, even if you've been doing problems by hand on a piece of paper, take pictures of those things, and I can look at what you've done. If you're building something and it's not working quite right, you can show me a video of what it looks like is happening. So now I have the ability to look at this, and from listening to your question or reading your question and then being able to look at where you're at and what you've done and what's happening, I have a better ability to help you out. Now, if you have given me the ability to edit this folder, that can be beneficial here, especially as we get into more technical things. If you write a code and it's not quite working, instead of me writing back kind of this convoluted answer saying, hey, in this code I noticed that you were doing this, maybe it would be nice if you used this technique and did this, blah, 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 blah. Since a lot of this is new, you might not know exactly what I mean. I could write up a code myself, and I wouldn't solve your problem for you. I wouldn't fix it and say, oh, here, I'll fix your problem. But what I could do is I could write a code that's similar or that shows you a technique, and then you can go through that, look at it, and say, oh, let me see how I can apply that to this original question. And so the ability for me to see what's happening along with your question is going to be very important. So now when you finally do submit your homework, I would again like you to submit this homework folder that you've already given me over email, but it hasn't been submitted on Canvas. But what you're going to do instead is you're going to make a new folder inside of here, and you're going to call it something like old work or practice or wasn't working or my rough draft or something like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to put all the stuff in there that wasn't working. And you're going to put it into there. I'm going to be able to realize that you spent some time working on this and that we asked questions, but I'm not going to gradient that stuff in the rough draft. I'm going to go to the things that are outside of that. I'm going to go and look at the other stuff. Get into the habit of not deleting things just because they don't work out. We don't want to pretend like mistakes never happened. We want to understand that the mistakes happened, but how did we move forward from that?